It's about to happen. How's about to happen? She's about to do it. And it was just a lot was going through my mind. And, and he started singing and he gave me a flower and he was finally done. And, Dee came around and, she said her speech. Do I have to say what you said?
We don't. The verdict is still out on what I actually said. I don't know what I said. All I know I said was that I love you.
We're perfect for each other. We make a great team.
We make a great team.
We really do.
We do.
And
my boss lady.
She asked me, will I marry her? And I said yes. And, I was just speechless. And I still kind of am. Like, I think the best word is speechless because I'm just like, wow. I did not cry. So that's a tip number 3 is everybody doesn't cry. Mm-hmm. And, it was amazing and great and emotional, all of that. But I don't know, I didn't cry. And I think it was because, one, he was singing. And so I got used to it, I was ready. I was anticipating it too much. And also I was wondering, like, did she talk to my dad? Because sorry. I was wondering.
It was a fruit fly. Sorry. It was a fruit fly, and he was like on my wine glass, so I had to like push him off. Okay, sorry. This is real uncut.
Real uncut. So, so I was wondering if she talked to my dad, because even like literally on the way to the bridge, my dad was at the party, and I was asking, like, did you see my dad? Did you talk to him? Because I'm just like, and also that goes into like another reason why I feel like I didn't cry is because, I kind of been wanting, for her to propose. So, and not even just wanting, I kind of knew it was going to happen at some point, just didn't know when. So, that element was in there as well. So I think, if somebody is, considering, and propose and all of that, just be careful. Like, of course, two, people in a relationship should talk about, the prospect of marriage and all of that, but also be careful on how much you talk about it or the way in which you talk about it, because we definitely talked about it a lot or often, or we talked about it enough to where we knew it was going to happen. Yeah. So that's a good thing because we're on the same page. Was that car going backwards down the street? True uncut. But yeah, so just be, I would say be mindful about, your discussions and, if you know what's happening, maybe talk about it less closer to the day or something like that. I don't know. But, why do that with this?
I'm trying to kill him.
It's not dead?
No, now he is.
We have some flowers right here, so I guess, and then she drinks it. So anyways.
It wasn't inside the glass. Poster.
So,
but it's also, sorry to cut you off, but it is also good to like have these conversations because like I knew what I was doing like months ahead of time. And so like these conversations that we had, like, yeah, maybe it was like, it messed up the whole element of surprise, but it made me a lot more comfortable about what I was doing. Like the more we talked about it, the more I felt we was on the same page. Mm-hmm. The more I felt comfortable about it. Like, and then another thing too is like, she is literally like one of my best friends. So like, there was, I didn't even tell you this. There was times where like I almost asked her opinion on shit for the engagement because I talked to her about so much shit. Like I was, yeah, like it was moments like that. And I have to look back at I can't. I gotta have Drea send them to me. But there was moments where like I wanted her opinion on certain stuff, and I was like, I can't ask her, So it was like it was a lot, because like I feel like we so close and we like talk about so much and we're so like involved in each other's lives.
And I do a lot of the planning,
and she does a lot of the planning too. So it was like, like shit, I needed her sometime. And it was like, but then I couldn't go to her. So it was like, I had my like funny little ways of like trying to talk to her about certain things without her knowing exactly what was happening. So, yeah.
So, I didn't cry, but it was still nice. It was beautiful. I'm happy. And, we have some really great pictures. So anything else about that moment?
Should we talk about the ring?
So the ring, I don't know if it's not going to be that great. We call it rose with a twist. I don't know if you can what you can see. But it's a beautiful ring. And going along the same lines of, what we just talked about, we went and picked out the ring. And really, well,
let me tell you. This is the first ring that I bought. I bought a ring. I ordered a ring. Like, yeah. So we had kind of talked about what you trying to put it in the camera?
Bling. Just in case people want to zoom in.
Right.
Somebody might want to zoom in. Go ahead.
It's a rock. No, so, so I kind of knew like the type of rings that she liked. And so I had a hard time like because she had like custom made this ring and showed it to me one time. Like they have like
K Jewelers. I don't know about any other websites, but K Jewelers, you can log in and design a ring yourself.
Yeah, so she designed this ring, and I mean it's very simple in nature. I mean, first, it's like infinity twist on the side with a center diamond. Like it's not. You would think it's like okay, you could just find that ring anywhere, but it was like. They want to add so much shit to it, and I knew that one thing.
Gold. Yeah, can you tell it's rose gold? Maybe,
probably not.
Right.
But I knew that she was very adamant about the diamond being like the focal point of the ring, and so when I was shopping for rings, I went to Jared's, I went to Kay's. I went to Genesis Diamond ×2. Like, I went to, like, all these different companies or whatever. And it was like, every time I found a ring that was similar to that, it was, like, not exactly that. So I found one that I felt was, like, nice and I was cool with it. But I knew she wanted rose gold and they had it in gold in the store. And so the guy told me, I guess, he probably works on commission. He was like, just buy the gold ring. And then I'll be able to order you the rose gold ring. And then you just come and bring back the gold one. And then you get the rose gold one. And I'm like, okay, so when are you going to have this ready? He was like, oh, I'm going to get it done by the date. My date was August 18th. But I'm like, I think I might even told him like August 10th or something. Like I made it up a date so that it would be like, even if he couldn't get it by that date, I'll still have it. And it still came back that he was only going to be able to get it like a few days before I actually needed it. So I kept calling in to check on his ring, and I'm like, okay, like, he still didn't have answers. And so I was just like, I went to different places, and I'm like, okay, I just need her. Because, like, one thing I wanted was, like, I wanted her to be happy about the ring. I didn't want to buy a ring or something that I thought was nice. And then she gets the ring and is like, just okay with it, and we end up, because I know how I'm going to feel about it. I'm like, if she's not okay with it, I'm going to like, take the thing back, and like, let's get what you want. But I wanted it to be like perfect, and be like this, like the engagement started, and we had the perfect ring, and it, I wanted it to fit, and all that. So, they kept, on the radio, they kept advertising this sale at Genesis Diamond, and so I had brought it up one time. We had heard it on the radio while we were in the car, and I was just like, you want to go to Genesis Diamond or whatever? And she said no that time because we were probably doing something else, whatever. She has probably had her list of things that we were supposed to do, and that was not on the list.
And then I think I also kind of was just like,
figure it out.
Not figure it out, but just, it was finding that balance. And we keep talking about getting engaged and rings. I don't want to keep looking for a ring if you're not going to do it. Which is kind of backwards, because how you going to do it if you don't have a ring? But it was so just, I was just kind of like, didn't want to get my hopes up and all of that. Because one time we went on a whim, and that's when, I really just discovered and learned about rings and could pick, determine what I wanted. So I just didn't want to keep doing that and getting my hopes up. Mm-hmm. But we ended up going. And
yeah, so one day after work, we were in the car because we rode to work together, and advertisement came on the radio. And I was like, oh, you want to go to Genesis Diamond? She was like, come on, let's go.
She keeps asking.
Right. So it was cool. And I'm like, okay. So I couldn't take her to the Genesis Diamond that I had went to earlier that day because they already knew me. So I was like, okay, let's go to the one in Cool Springs, which is further away. So we went. She found a ring.
30-minute drive. 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So she found a ring, and I was just looking at her face, and I just felt like that was not the one. It was just not the one.
It was like the best one in there, but it wasn't the one. Especially now, like finding the one. But I would have been happy with it, and it was close to this, but it wasn't this.
Yeah. And so, like, leaving out the store, and I'm like, so that's still, like, if I was ever proposed to me, like, that would be the ring. And you was like, I'd be happy with that. And I'm like, I don't want you to just be happy with what I get you. Like, I want you to be like, I love, look at my ring and be, like, really, like, in love with what I get you.